Hi, welcome to a new video. My name is Firyal, and today I'm going to talk about the voice in your head. When and when not to listen to it. First things first, what is the voice in your head exactly? Well, we all know that moments when you're doing something or not, and a thought pops up in your head like that. So, what do? Do you ignore it? Or do you listen to it? Listening to your intuition is very important. And why is it so important to listen to your intuition? Is probably because it comes from the inner self. So, who is that voice exactly? Some say it's from our ancestors. Some say you should ignore that voice. It's all in your head. And, so how do you make the right choice in listening to what is being said inside the brain? When you listen to that voice, you will notice that it is natural. The voice in your head is something that you should part into. Is it a negative thought that comes up, or is it a positive one? Usually it is an instruction on how to do your next move. You know how sometimes when people say, oh, I suddenly had this thought, or telepathy, I was thinking about you before you made that call, or when you run into a person and a person was like, oh, I had you in my mind, and you're like, I had you in my mind, on my mind. So how do you know if it's the right voice? And like I said, you should first of all ask yourself, is it a negative voice or a positive voice? And I have noticed that I have ignored a lot of signs back in the days. And when I done that, I usually had regrets about it because I felt like something was not right. I did not listen to what I had to do. It's like an instruction. Signs are communicating with you from every angle. And yeah, you can call it your ancestors or yourself. Whatever you call it, it is there. So take it serious. When you're walking outside at night and that voice in you is telling you, go left, but you want to go right because you did not take the time to think about how you feel and what you need to do. So when that voice popped up in your head, you probably was not focused to hear it, or you just ignored it. But once you start ignoring that voice, you will see that you will run after facts. The voice in your head is there to guide you. It's the God in you. Take it serious. If you are doing an exam in school, or you are at your job, your work, and you are facing an issue that you need to solve, try to console your own soul and listen to what your soul have to say. And 9 out of 10 times, your soul is right. And that one time could probably be a negative voice that popped up out of nowhere. And actually they say out of nowhere, but everything is like a magnet. If you have good thoughts, if you are around positive people, if you watch positive images, if you listen to positive music, if you go into the nature a lot, then you will experience a whole different voice than when you do the opposite of those things. Then, if a voice pops in your head, it could be a negative voice, and it will continue to be a negative voice. And you shouldn't listen to that voice. And you should also not ignore that voice. Acknowledge the voice. And know that there is a voice inside of you. Even when you keep quiet, there's a lot of ways to communicate. Body language, the most common one. And your soul is there to guide you. Your soul is the real you. So listen to the real you. Sometimes it can be a little bit that you feel like your soul and the mind, as in what you believe is true, can have conflict. They are going like this. It's not in balance. And actually you create your own reality. So if you want to not run after facts and stay on track, listen to that inner voice. But also make sure that you attract the right things through your thoughts and your surroundings. The voice is there and it's real. And I used to be the one who would talk out loud sometimes to myself. And sometimes you see people outside, they're talking, but they're alone. And you can look at a person like that and be like, are they crazy? And I'm probably one of those people, because I like to talk out loud, and I've learned to be more inwards inwards with myself. And how is that so? What I've learned throughout my own experience is that when you speak within yourself, that means you are your own best friend. You can't betray yourself. You are one with yourself. And that automatically aligns you with the universe. Sometimes, and a lot of times, women deal with this. They are very chaotic in their mind. So they talk out loud. They be like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. It's so blah, like it's driving you nuts. I had that. Like, it drove me nuts, drove me crazy. I used to like talk out loud. Sometimes I still do, let me be honest. And like a friend of mine advised me to not talk out loud. I've heard even in the past, like, why are you talking to yourself? No, it's not like that I'm crazy. I've never been that way. But I thought that was normal. I was responding to the voice in my head. But since that voice in my head is inside of me and no one can hear it, I have no business in speaking it out loud. And sometimes we do have to speak things into existence. But when your soul is communicating with you, it's good for you to communicate back and do that with your thoughts. In life sometimes we react and handle with an automatic pilot. But stop doing that. Think before you do something. Don't do it because you're used to doing it and it's an automatic thing, Think before you do something, and that usually prevents mistakes. So listen to the voice in your head, and only you can turn that voice into a positive one or a negative one. So choose wisely. Thank you so much for watching this video, and subscribe here if you haven't already. Click on the red button that says subscribe, and thumbs up if you like this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care and love and light.